Hello my dear friends, welcome to this class again, and today we are going to begin a new chapter 2. The title is People as a Resource. I hope you remember what we learned in the first lesson. We talked about factors of production, 3 factors of production, that is land, labor and capital. And we said capital can be divided into 3 again. One is the fixed capital, second one is the working capital, and the third one is the human capital. So in this lesson we are going to talk about the human capital. We are going to talk about the people as a capital. So we said, how can the people be called capital? The fixed capital is the machines, the buildings and other equipments that we buy in order to start a production. All that is called fixed capital. Then the running capital or the working capital is the money that we need at hand to pay to the employees, to buy the raw materials and so on. We need some money in our hand. That is called working capital. And the human capital means the qualities of the people. That is called human capital. We know there are different types of people are there. If you go to a factory, we don't find everyone is equal or everyone is doing the same work. They do different works. There will be on top, there will be the manager, then there may be assistant manager, then there may be secretaries, or there may be other officers. Then the lower level there may be clerks, peons and so on. So people do different tasks. Now what do you think that these people are given different tasks? All are human beings. Why some are given the top job as a manager and some are given the lowest job as sweeper? What do you think? Suppose if you make a sweeper as the manager of a bank, let's say a bank, what do you think? How will the bank function? How will the bank run? That bank will have a lot of commotions and confusions, and the works will not be able to progress because the sweeper does not know what to do at the top level. He is not trained for that. He has no knowledge about what to do in a bank as a manager. So the people are having different qualities. According to their quality, they are given the work. All cannot do the same work because all are not having the same quality. That is the problem. So, in order to make people as a resource, or in order to get the human capital as maximum or the best from the human capital, what we need is we need to form this human capital. We need to train the people to get more knowledge, more ideas and so on. So if every person is trained in the same way, then they all will be doing the same job again. That is the problem again. So different people should be trained for different works according to their talents. All the people may not have the same talent. Some may be very good for drawing, painting, some may be very good for singing, some may be very good for dancing, some may be very good for social work, some may be very good as planning, as a planner, as an engineer, and some may be good for serving others like a doctor, nurse and so on. So different people will have different aptitudes. They will have different interests. So according to their interests, we need to train these people. And basically for everyone, the basic education is a must. So that's why our government has made it compulsory up to the age of 14. Elementary education, primary education is compulsory. So no student or no child should roam around till the age of 14 saying I don't want to go to school. So that is not allowed. Government makes it compulsory that every child up to 14 years is compulsory education. Beyond that also government encourages but not forcing. So but at least minimum 14 years of age students should be in the school. So that is to train those people. It is this time that they find out what is their talent, in what subject or in what topic or in what area they are more interested in. They will be able to find out their own talents, their own tastes, and accordingly they focus in that direction for their future, what they want to become, what they want to choose, they ask their career and so on. That is people's idea, and people, those who get trained well, then they will be able to become more, will be able to provide more resource, human resource. And apart from this education, we also need different skills. We need to give skills to the people. We already said about education. So education is needed, skill is needed. Another thing that they need is health. So all these things are required in order to make a human capital. Suppose a person who does not have any education, as soon as he is born, let's say he is born in a poor family, his parents are farmers, and so as soon as he is able, maybe at the age of 5 or 10 onwards, he is gone to the field together with his parents, and he has not gone to school, he has not learned anything, he does not know how to read and write, so he has no education at all. So what can he provide as a human resource? A person who is illiterate, a person who is not gone to school at all. At most he will be able to go and work in the farm, digging. That also if you ask him, why are you digging? He will not have the answer because he has no knowledge, he has not gone to school, he has not learned anything. So my parents are doing this way, so I am also doing this way. He will be able to explain only in that way. So if he can work in the farm, there is nothing wrong in becoming a farmer, but he should be an educated farmer. Then he will know how to cultivate properly, how to dig, or how to use fertilizers, how to use pesticides, how to use irrigation facilities and so on. Then he will be an educated farmer and he will be able to cultivate better and produce better fruits, better harvest. So, an educated farmer and a non-educated farmer, comparing between them, an educated farmer will be able to provide much more knowledge, ideas. He will be using his head because he is educated, he can think properly and he can plan nicely, and he will be able to get the best result from his farm activities. Then another thing is the skill. We know so many things are made in this world, so many things are manufactured. All these are coming out from the head of the human beings. They are able to imagine, they are able to plan out, and they are able to execute all that, the ideas into action. That's why the skill of the people is very important. We are able to make something because of our skill. If you ask some people to draw the map of India, they may try 100 times, but still the shape of India will be different because they do not have the skill for drawing. But if a person has got a good skill for drawing, then he just look at the map once and then he will be able to draw very fast, and it will be exactly the same as the India map. So people who have got skill, we can do better, and this skill can be gained by training. If you say, I have no skill, I don't want to do this, then the skill will never come. The skill will come by practice. So if you start learning to draw the map of India a few times, then you will certainly able to improve the skill. You will be able to draw better and better each time when you try. Or if you want to do something, if you want to do some mechanical works, maybe repairing vehicles or maybe making artificial things for decoration and so on. So you can make so many things. I'm sure you might have seen in your own villages, parents or grandparents, they sit and make baskets, beautiful baskets with bamboo. So it is because of their skill. They did not go to any school how to learn how to make baskets, but they learned their own skill. Maybe they might have seen how their parents were doing it, but they added their skills, their ideas, and it became a more better product than their fathers were making, their grandparents were making. So by using the skill, we will be able to improve our production and will be able to produce better things. Then another thing is the health. So if a person is healthy, then he can work better. He can work long hours. But if person is sick, then he may work for a few hours and then he feels very tired, he wants to take a rest. Or if he is sickly, what happens? He will not be able to think properly. All the time he will be going to hospital, taking medicine, then he will not have a mood to work and so on. So we need to make sure people are healthy. So if you want to be healthy, then what is the requirement? You need to have good nutritious food. Then what else? You need to take medicine when you are sick. So there should be hospital facilities and nutritious food should be available and so on. So when all these things are available, a person will be healthy and he will be able to work better. So compared to an unhealthy person, a sickly person, a healthy person will be able to work much more and will be able to produce more. So he will be an asset. A healthy person will be an asset. So this is how people can become asset or people can become resource. Now I hope you understood why in that example I mentioned, the example of a bank, all are not given the same post. Different people are given different posts. And the one who is on top, the manager, he has got better education, he is well trained, and therefore he has got good skills to plan out for the improvement of the bank, to improve the income of the bank. So he has got more skills, and he is also a healthy person. Suppose if he is not a healthy person, then half of the days he will not come to the bank, he will not be able to do his job, and if he is not coming, others also may not come, and the bank will collapse. There will not be any more profit and so on. So people who have got more education, more skill and more health, they will be able to contribute more. They will be able to work or provide more human resources or more human capital. So that is very important in order to get all these things. So in the past, we know in India, the other day I was talking about the Green Revolution. So when India got freedom, the people did not have enough food to eat. Most of the people were in starvation. They were very weak in their health. They were like skins and bones. So people realized that, when the government realized, the first thing that they need to do is provide food for the people, make them healthy, and so that they can work. So at present the people are working, quite many are working, a lot of people were working in the farm, but still the production is not sufficient for all the people. And so government realized it is because they are using just the ordinary method of cultivation. They are not using modern methods. They are not using any modern means. They are just going on using in the traditional method of farming. That's why there is no improvement at all. So government gave them the idea. Let us change our cultivation methods. Let us do away with the traditional methods and let us use scientific method of planting. So let us use good seeds which can produce very high results. Let us use pesticides for killing the germs. Let us use fertilizers to improve the fertility of the soil, and let us provide water for irrigation. So government provided all these things and the result was wonderful. The people who were struggling to provide enough food for the country, suddenly they found there is surplus of food, able to produce more than what is required. So that because of education. If those people in the government, those officers were not educated, then they would not be able to give this new method of planting. They will be still going on struggling with that old method and the result will never remain the same. So that is the difference between when people are educated and people are uneducated. So people are educated means we will be able to get more results, the work will be more. Therefore we can say the human resource is one of the most important resource. All the other things, more than all the other things, the human resource is more important. Or we can say another example in our country, the IT technology. I hope you know what is IT technology, information technology. So if you say some 30 years ago, there was hardly any computers, people were all using manual typewriters, and there were no mobile phones, there were no electronic gadgets and so on. But people began to think, people began to invent, using their head, they began to think, we can do this way, we can do this way. So they began to think and found out more and more things, invented more and more new things. That is how the electronic things came up, the computers, the radio, the TV, the mobile, all these came up. And therefore, we can say it is all because of education. Now in our country, we have so much of development is there in the IT areas, IT field. Lot of technology has been developed. And so, it is all because of our education. Suppose we think that in our country the education was not provided, or the government did not give importance to education or skill training and so on, then the people would have remained the same. They would have continued to become the farmers, the traditional farmers, struggling whole year but not having enough food to eat and so on. They could have continued in that struggling mode. But because government gave importance to education as well, or skill development as well, people began to think, people began to produce new things, and that way the technology developed, the production increased, and our country started developing faster and faster. So all these things are important. And now we see the other factors of production. We already said in the last class or the previous class. The land, the factors of production are land, labor, and capital. So all these things are important, but we can say more than all these things, the human capital is important. Human capital. Why so? Because if human beings are not there, we will not be able to make use of the land. We will not be able to make use of this labor. We will not be able to make use of this capital. So it is because of an educated person who can think, who can plan out, and who can execute the programs. That is how we are able to use these factors of production. Suppose a person who does not know how to till the ground, what is use of having land in his hand. He will keep it as there. It will be developing jungle there, and it will be a wasteland later. But if a piece of land is given to a person who is very good for thinking, he can plan out. I'll make a nice factory here. I'll produce so many things in that factory. That way he can think. Or he can think that I will make a nice farm here. I will cultivate fruit trees there. Or I will cultivate paddy there. Or he can think about I will make use of this land. I will make a park here. I will help the people to come and relax here, sit here. So he can think in different ways. That is, if a land is there in the hand of an educated person. Suppose labor is there. If it is an uneducated person, so he cannot do anything. Only that he may know how to do digging. But if he is an educated person, then he can do so much of works. He can do writings, he can do readings, he can do office work, he can do the computer works, or he can do several other works. So that is the difference. Educated person can become a labor, a different labor. Not only just doing manual work, but also the mental works. And also the capital. Suppose an educated person, if he gets a lot of money in his hand, what can he do? He may buy a lot of things and eat and enjoy his life. He will not be able to do any planning, he will not be able to make use of his money. But if the money is given in the hand of an educated person, he can think about so many options. He can start a factory, or he can start a business, or he can run a shop, or he can start a bank. He can give a loan to others. So much of options are there with an educated person. That's why we say human capital, that is the skill, education, the ability of the quality of a person is more important than all these things. So if an educated human person is not there, then all these things will be waste. But if these things are in the hand of an educated person, then great things can take place, great difference will be there, and that person can really grow better and better, can become richer and richer. So the human capital, that intellectual level of development through education, through skill management, and also by keeping good health, all these things will help a person to grow into a better human capital, and he will be able to help others as well. So that is very important. So if any country want to develop, the first thing that they have to do is to provide all these things to its citizens. Provide education, provide skill training, and provide good health. To get good health, they should have good nutritious food, medical facilities, and so on. So if there are more higher education centers are there, or skill training, skill development centers are there, then people can make use of it, and they can in turn provide better production to the country, to serve their people, to save the society where they are living, and so that is very important. So let us wind up for today, and remember that these skills are useful. These things are needed in order to call people as a resource, or people as a human capital. Without these things, everything will be waste. So make use of every opportunity that is given to you to learn a new skill or to get more knowledge. It is not just meant for yourself alone, but it is meant for the entire society that you are living in. That's why these days parents are investing so much on their children's education. They want the children to go to the best school, learn maximum, learn skills, and learn a lot of ideas, so that they will grow up, develop their ideas, and put into practice when they are big, they are old enough, so that the society can develop, as as a country as a whole can develop because of their initiative. So make use of every opportunity that you get and get the maximum benefit out of it. Don't just sit and say, I want to just pass metric. That should not be your aim. So try to gather maximum knowledge, maximum skill, and try to be the best human capital that is available, that you can become, so that you can produce more, you can contribute to the growth of the country, growth of the society, and be part of the development of the country. So I wish you all the best and hope you all will have your own target, your own goal, your own plan. What is my area of interest? What shall I choose? What shall I become in the future? So go in that direction and try to be excellent. Try to excel in that field and be of usefulness. Be of useful to the country. Be a service to the country and to your fellow citizens. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day.